Welcome and hello there. I'm Christina Johnson, transformational nutrition coach. And today's video is for you if you are like a lot of the women I work with who feel like it's just so much more difficult to lose weight as you get older. And so many people tell me that the things that they used to do to lose weight, like cutting calories, just watching portion sizes, doing Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, keto, all of those things just aren't working quite as well anymore. And so today what I want to do is to go over some of the reasons why cutting calories and eating less food in particular isn't enough. Why it's just not enough to get the weight to budge as we are getting older. And so my goal is to give you an idea of how to approach weight loss in a slightly different way that will work in your 40s and 50s and 60s, even if you feel like your metabolism is slowing down or your hormones are all out of whack. So as I dive into this, I do want to first just acknowledge that the idea of cutting calories, counting calories is really deeply ingrained in us. There are so many diets and programs out there that condition us to believe that we have to, track every bite of food we put in our mouth. We have to make sure that we're sticking to a certain calorie limit because you have to cut calories in order to lose weight. And while there are some grains of truth to that, what I want to show you today is that's not really the whole full picture. And so even if you might be a little bit inclined, there could be that voice in the back of your mind saying, okay, but you still have to count calories. I get it. And I've talked with a lot of women who really struggle because they feel like if I stop counting calories, I will eat too much and I will gain weight. But I am here to tell you, I've worked with hundreds of women and we do not count calories. We do not track macros consistently or anything like that. And they are still losing weight. So I just want to lay it out there that based on all the research I've done and my experience working with lots and lots of women, it is definitely possible to lose weight without just so meticulously counting every calorie. And so that's my goal today, is just to explain why that's maybe not the top thing to focus on, and then give you an idea of what to look at instead. Okay, so here we go. Number one, the first reason why counting calories just isn't enough is that it's not enough to improve your health. So here's what I mean by this. And there are lots and lots of studies out there that are starting to show this similar idea, but I want to share one with you in particular. It's an animal study that was done, I think, on mice. And there were these two groups of mice. And both groups were eating the exact same number of calories, and they were both being restricted. So they were both eating fewer calories than normal, but it was the exact same amount. The difference between these two groups was that one group was eating a higher sugar diet and the control group was not. So exact same number of calories, one group was having higher sugar diet, the other group was just a normal diet. And here's what they found. They did this study for 3 months, and at the end of the 3 months, the weight was pretty comparable in both groups. I think they both lost weight and it was very similar. So sure, both groups eating the same number of calories, they did lose some weight, both groups. But here was the big difference. The group that was eating the higher sugar diet, after 3 months, every single one of those mice had diabetes. Every single one had a bad case of fatty liver disease. They had high blood pressure. They had more visceral fat, which is the damage, the more dangerous fat. The control group didn't have any of those issues. And so I think we just need to realize that, okay, you can cut calories, and that's what this study showed. Both groups of animals cut calories, but one ended up with all these pretty significant health challenges: diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver disease. Those are significant health issues that not only impact their health, but their quality of life and eventually their ability to maintain a healthy weight. So cutting calories alone, it's not enough to get us healthy. And so kind of the takeaway here that I want you to start thinking about, and this is the approach I use when I'm working with clients, is that typically what happens is that most people think I need to lose weight to become healthier. Like, have you ever approached it that way? I need to lose weight so that I get my diabetes under control. I need to lose weight so that my knees don't bother me so much. I need to lose weight so that X, Y, and Z improves. And in all reality, that's flipped. We need to flip it around, and the philosophy I take is we need to become metabolically healthy, and then we will lose weight. Because as you become healthy and you become metabolically healthy, the weight will come off as a byproduct, and you will feel better too as a result. It's not always, the weight is an issue, but we need to focus on becoming healthy first. And so that's the first reason why cutting calories alone isn't enough, because it's so focused on the primary goal is just eat this amount of calories, and it's not looking at what you are eating and eating in a way that actually improves your health. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the second reason why cutting calories isn't enough is that it does not improve satiety. So when the goal is to simply get to a certain number of calories, we're not focused on eating in a way that helps us feel full and satisfied. And so that's what I mean by satiety. And maybe you've experienced this. Let me know in the comments. You can just put a me if you've ever had that feeling where you eat a meal and you don't feel stuffed afterwards, but you feel good. You feel full, you feel satisfied, and you stop thinking about food for a while. I look at it as, we have these hunger hormones in our body, and it's almost like we have this hunger switch in our brain. And when you're eating the right combination of foods, it flips off that hunger switch. So you stop thinking about food. You're satisfied. You don't need to eat again until the next meal. And so cutting calories, when you're focused on, okay, well, I can have 1,200 calories, 1,400 calories, the goal becomes, well, how much can I eat before I get to my goal? Instead of, what can I eat that is going to flip off that hunger switch? Because here's what happens. When you eat in a way, when your priority becomes more eating in a way that balances your hunger hormones, the hunger switch gets flipped off between meals, so you feel full and satisfied, which means that you are more likely to eat healthy. You are more likely to be consistent with your eating choices. And then here's the big irony of it all, is what happens is you naturally start eating less. Because yes, it does matter how much we're eating, but we don't want that to be necessarily the first thing we look at. Let's look at how do we eat in a way that keeps us full and satisfied and turns off our hunger between meals, so that we naturally just want to eat less because we're not thinking about food all the time. Okay, number three then is that cutting calories does not balance our blood sugar. So let me give you might have heard me talk about this before, but let me give you a brief little recap of what happens in our body when we eat anything made with sugar or carbs, especially processed carbs. But anytime we eat something with sugar or carbs in it, your body breaks that food down, digests it down into smaller sugar molecules. Those sugar molecules enter the bloodstream and then causes our blood sugar to rise. Well, once our blood sugar rises, especially if it rises really quickly, but your body's going to release insulin, and insulin's job is to take that extra blood sugar out of your bloodstream and to store it somewhere in your body. So your body will first take that extra glucose, the blood sugar, and will store it in your liver and your muscles. And this is good. This is a good, quick source of energy for when your body needs it. But if we're eating too much sugar and processed carbs, and your body can't put any more in your liver and muscles, then what your body does next is to convert it into fat. It's typically converted into body fat and stored in, fat cells on your body. Or it can also be converted into triglycerides, which is one of those cholesterol numbers that we don't want more of. And so what happens is you could be eating 1,200, 1,400, 1,500 calories, and maybe theoretically that's enough for your body to lose weight. But if you're eating foods that are spiking your blood sugar, it is more likely that some of that will be converted into fat or into triglycerides, which we don't want. The other issue is when you're eating foods that are spiking your blood sugar, what happens is that with that quick blood sugar spike, then we have a blood sugar drop. And that drop is when you start to feel that afternoon energy slump, or you start to feel anxious, on edge, irritable. Even more importantly, when we have that low blood sugar, your body will create a craving for more sugar or carbs. So that your body will get the blood sugar it needs to bring your blood sugar back to normal. So the takeaway here is that if we're focused only on eating 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 calories, you could still be eating a way that is wreaking havoc on your blood sugar. And if you are on that blood sugar roller coaster, you're going to have more cravings. You're going to have more energy slumps where you want more sugar. Your body will be more likely to store fat. And so what we want to focus on instead is eating in a way to balance our blood sugar, because then you're going to have good energy levels, your body will get into fat burning mode, and you will have fewer cravings, which once again makes it easier to eat healthy, and you will be more likely to not overeat. So again, this is another one, the last reason with improving our satiety and getting rid of cravings, together, those two will help you naturally eat less food. So if you've had that thought, if I don't count my calories, I'm going to eat too much and I will gain weight. Well, yeah, that's true if you don't count calories and don't work on balancing your hunger hormones and blood sugar. But I promise you, if you don't count calories, but you're focused on balancing blood sugar and hunger hormones, you will be a lot less likely to overeat. You're just not going to want to. Okay, number 4, the fourth reason why cutting calories isn't enough. And this is a carryover from the last couple, but I want to reiterate it, that not all calories are created equal. And we logically know this because let's say I give you, the option between 2 snacks. You could eat 100 calories from Oreos, or you could eat 100 calories from broccoli. We know logically that those 100 calories will do very different things in our body. The Oreos will probably spike our blood sugar. The broccoli is going to take a lot longer to digest. It's going to have more fiber in it that's going to keep you full. So not all calories have the same impact on our body. The other thing to note here that is not talked about much is the thermic effect of food. So all food has a thermic effect, which is basically the amount of energy your body has to expend, or calories you have to burn, in order to digest that food, to absorb the nutrients, to metabolize it. And different foods have a different thermic effect. So let's say we're looking at fat. So you eat something with fat, and the thermic effect is about 2 to 3%. So you can kind of think of it roughly as, 2 to 3% of the calories in that fat will get used up just by digestion. Well, then let's look at carbs. If you're eating a carb, your body has to expend about 7 to 10% of the calories from that carb as energy to digest it. So 7 to 10% of the calories in the carb will get burned up just through the digestive process. But the magic really happens when we're eating protein. The thermic effect of protein is 25 to 30%. So we can be increasing our protein and eating more protein, and it's not going to have like a big net impact on the amount of calories we're eating, because 25 to 30% of the calories from that protein will get burned up just through the digestive process. So the takeaway here is that, again, we don't want to focus just on how many calories you can eat, but let's focus on the impact those calories have on your body, your health, your metabolism. Okay, so I want to do a really quick recap, but I would also love to hear from you. Are there any of these 4 reasons that are hitting home a little bit, or that just make a lot of sense to you, or different perspectives that you want to take when you're trying to lose weight? So you can even just put a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the comments and let me know which one of them kind of hits home the most or resonates with you. And I'll do a quick recap here. So this is also what we can do instead. So instead of focusing primarily on this is how many calories I need to eat, let's start shifting to these 4 perspectives instead. So number 1 is to eat to become metabolically healthy. Focus on that. Make that your priority. Eat to become metabolically healthy, and then the weight will come off. Number 2 is to eat to balance your hunger hormones so that you get that hunger switch flipped off in between meals, which will help you naturally eat less food without having to just be so stressed about counting every calorie. Number 3 is we want to eat to balance our blood sugar so that we are getting rid of cravings, so that we have good energy, and so that our body is getting into fat burning mode. So that's number 3. And then number 4 is, instead of trying to hit that target number of calories, think about the food that you are eating and choose what to eat based on the impact you know that it will have on your body. So again, let me know in the comments, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which one of those kind of stands out to you the most, or is an approach that you want to start using and incorporating a little bit more. And then I'd love to hear any other questions you have about this topic of calorie counting. Also, if you are just ready to fast track your weight loss results and you don't want to have to figure this all out on your own, because honestly, it took me, I think about 5 years to do all the research, to put together all the pieces of what it takes to lose weight in a healthy way. And I know that not everyone wants to wait 5 years to get results. So if you want to fast track those results and want support losing weight in a really healthy and sustainable way, in a way that improves your metabolism and your health so that the weight comes off more easily, then I would love to invite you to book a complimentary consultation with me, where you and I can talk more about what your goals are, what you're struggling with, and we'll look at what is the best path forward for you, what would be most helpful to get you losing weight in that sustainable way. So I will drop a link to my calendar in the comments so you can book a complimentary lose weight and keep it off consultation with me. And then we'll go from there. We'll figure out if I can do more to help you or not. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching today, and we will talk again very soon. Bye.